Hey there. I have read your teaching plans and have provided you feedback in the rubric and on your worksheet that's loaded into Blackboard. Please take the time to read that feedback. You've got another teaching plan that's going to be on service learning that's going to be due in a few weeks. So you're going to want to take that feedback and apply it to your next teaching plan to make sure you get as many points as possible. The teaching plan, if this is not something that you do all the time, which very few people that teach do, this had to feel a little tedious. So I appreciate that if you felt like you were kind of repeating yourself, especially in the section that you had to put in your content. So it was your teaching and learning strategies. I know you feel like, okay, I've already got the PowerPoint in there. That should be enough. My encouragement is for you to have more than the PowerPoint when you're lecturing. Personally, I have my PowerPoint, but I have lecture notes. And my lecture notes are pretty organized. Well, actually, they are organized by the slides. Some of you may use the note feature in the PowerPoint section where you type in your notes. Some may handwrite them. A lot of people have different approaches to this. What I want in that content section of the teaching strategies is an overview of what's on your PowerPoint, not a copy and paste of every single thing that you've put on your teaching PowerPoint, but just an overview to guide the reader. If you have done this teaching plan well, I can use your teaching plan, walk into your classroom, and teach in your absence. Please bear in mind that I'm a mental health teacher. That's my background. So you probably don't want me teaching your med-surg topics. I will make a mess of it. But if you've given me enough information, I should be able to follow the dotted line and be able to put the slides up and be able to know how to follow the flow of your lecture. I won't have the fabulous personal stories you'll have or the exemplars from work experience, but I should be able to pull it together and make it work at least structurally. So many of you did a fantastic job with this. If you got some feedback for improvements, that's okay. You've got a second opportunity to do another teaching plan in a few weeks. So a few points. PowerPoints, when you're doing them for class, unless they are for elementary school kids, please do not use clip art or cartoons. Please use pictures. Please be creative. But the cartoony pictures are not perceived to be professional, and they really should be avoided. If you find when we talk about clip art and cartoons, I'm talking about kind of the canned ones that look kind of fake. Sometimes when you're talking about a topic, there is a cartoon strip or something from a political cartoon that you could put into a PowerPoint as an example to expand on your idea. So those types of things support your idea. They actually expand on a topic, create a little bit of humor sometimes. If you have pediatrics, there's lots of cartoons that talk about what it's like to parent a kid. Putting some of those up, I think, is okay. But you want to avoid that clip art that looks kind of cheesy. It's not as professional. It doesn't have a crisp look to it, and it doesn't look intentional, like you really thought through what does this mean and how does this look. The other area that some of you struggled with was the prerequisite area. So the prerequisite area needs to be about the content that you want the students to know before they come into class, specific to that lecture. If you're teaching a junior level nursing student, I know that there's a pile of things that they need to know, just general nursing wise, to be able to sit in a junior class. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the things that, let's say you're lecturing that day on the musculoskeletal system. Well, that day they may have needed to have read a chapter in their book. Maybe there's worksheets associated with that chapter that you wanted them to do. Maybe there's an online quiz that's like a pass or a a requirement to check into class. It's an admission ticket, I think is the buzzword that's being used now. Think about, how will I know that my students are prepared? So all of these things that they have to do when they get there. Another piece of a prerequisite for content is not just the things they do at home, but how will you verify that these things are done? An admission ticket, like a quiz that's online, you can go into Blackboard and say, hey, it's all done. Maybe one of the ways you do it is just an informal question. You start your class with a question that you can use Poll Everywhere for, or another quiz software that you can just put up a quick 2 or 3 quiz and just get people to raise their hands or click in or text in, and you can get a general sense of, okay, where is everybody? How prepared are they? Think about what you want them to know to kind of prime the pump, and how you're going to assess it once they're there. That's kind of a 2-part step. Otherwise, I think those are the other things I have left over from this week. Next week, you've got your practicum log number 2. Please go in and make sure that your time log from practicum log number 1 is correct. And if for some reason you had to make a minor revision on practicum log number 1, please make sure that that's posted prior to starting log 2. In your paper, you've got a 4 to 6 page paper, and folks, please keep it 4 to 6. This is to have you take the time. The purpose of this is to have you go in and look at 3 new technologies that are being used in the classroom. You can use 2 technologies from the list I've given you and add one of your own. Maybe something new that you've used this year or you just found that you want to share. Follow the rubric closely, answer the questions clearly. I want to see APA level headings. This paper lends itself to level 1, level 2, and maybe level 3 if you get into the detail, but at least level 1 and level 2. So make sure you're using headings. Have fun with this. Go in and really look at things and ask yourself, what kind of teaching am I doing? If I'm in a hospital setting, I'm probably going to want to move away from some of the academic focused ones. Use ones that are on smartphones or tablets or things that you can pull up pretty quickly. Have fun with this and really use this as an opportunity to try new things and put some tools in your toolbox that you don't already have. I'm going to encourage you to not use things you already use. I won't know if you did or you didn't, but if you're going to share it, make sure that you're thinking from the angle of innovation and appropriateness for your population. So I am going to wrap up. It is late and I need a nap. Actually, I just need to go to bed. I'm tired. I hope you guys have a great week. I am traveling to Atlanta Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so I may be a little slower getting back to you if you have questions or concerns, but know that I have not fallen off the face of the earth. I'm just, it's business travel, so I'm going down there for a conference for nurse educators. So I will be hopefully learning something while you all are working on your coursework this week, but just know if there's a delay in getting back with you, it's not that I'm avoiding you, I'm just a little busy. Have a great week, folks. Touch base if you have questions or concerns.